What's up, guys? So, on my last video, I talked about different movements you can do to basically make your videos a lot more cinematic. And here I have two stabilizers that actually make your footage look a lot better because stabilized footage is better. Now, don't get me wrong, you can have shaky footage in some instances. If you want to have like a walking shot, like this for example, you don't want to have a very shaky shot of it. You want it to be smooth, and that way, you know, you have, it looks a lot more better. Just saying, you know, stabilized footage is a lot more better. Okay, so one of the first ways and the easiest way that you can have stabilized footage is using a wide angle lens. Now this is a stock kit lens, 18 to 55. You can get these, if you buy a kit camera, you get these with it. You can get stabilized footage with these at 18 millimeters. There are also lenses like a 14 millimeter, 16 to 35. You can, but those are more pricey. But for this, if you keep it at 18 millimeters, you can get very nice stabilized footage if you're handheld without a gimbal. Secondly, slowing down your footage in Adobe Premiere Pro, maybe like 50%, 60%, you can stabilize your footage a lot better that way. If it's a lot shaky, if you slow it down, it gets rid of most of the shake. If you don't want a slow motion shot but it's so shaky, there's warp stabilizer in Adobe Premiere Pro. You just drag that on and put it on there. It'll process itself and make your footage, it'll do its own stabilizing and stabilize your footage for you. You don't have to worry about it. Another way you can get stabilized footage is from my last video. If you remember panning, you can use a tripod for panning, which will give you a lot more stability, or a monopod. If you don't know what the difference between a tripod and a monopod, tri and mono. Tri means 3, which means a tripod has 3 legs. A monopod, mono, means 1. It has 1 leg. It's like a stick, and your camera just fits on top of it really easily. Okay, so to my right, we have the Zhiyun Crane version 2. Now, there's a version 1, a version 2, and then there's the Crane 2. This is version 2 of the first Crane. So it's not the second one, which is a newer one. It's more like a remake of the first one. So these are 3-axis gimbals, and what they actually look like is this. So if I power this on, there we go. This camera is stabilized, so look at that. You have a lot of stability here. You can basically run with this and have a stable shot. The only thing I don't like about it is if you have to get a shot low to the ground, you actually have to put your back in, and that is kind of hard to do with this. But besides that, it's a pretty much alright stabilizer. In this, there is a joystick at the back here, so I can tilt with this, just like from my first video, up, down, and I can also pan. But why is it panning? Oh, there we go. So I can also pan with this and have stabilized footage at the same time. So that's pretty cool for something that's, I don't know, how much is this? Like $500 now? So that is the Crane version 2 with the Sony A7S on it. To my left, we have the DJI Ronin-M. It's pretty much a lot bigger and a lot more intimidating than this one. But I prefer, if I have to choose between both of them, something to choose, I would go with this one. There are a lot of pros and cons with it. For example, it is heavy, and you can't, if you have to go anywhere with this and rest it down, you need to have this stand with you, which is pretty, you have to bring this everywhere because you can't put this down. You can't rest that down anywhere. Unlike the Movie Pro has like a built-in leg, so you can rest that anywhere. This does not, but it does a job pretty well. It can get low down to the ground, which this can't do, and you can get basically a lot of various shots. Same thing as this. It is a 3-axis, so if I power it on, there it's on. So you can see here, so I can basically hold this with one hand, but you can see it's pretty much stable, even if I have one hand on. So if I'm running, I can run, chase a car, chase a person, and if I want to get that low walking shot of someone's feet, I just hold this from the top, and basically we don't want to break anything here, and hopefully go with their motion. And this is a pretty great stabilizer for getting that stabilized shot that you want. So that's basically pretty much how to achieve stabilized shots. And the difference, one thing that sells me on this than the crane is you can have two hands on this, but with this it's kind of hard to have both hands on it for more stabilization. And having both hands on your gimbal, because these are kind of expensive. Anyway, so yeah, so I think I covered all of the points of how you can get some stabilized footage here, and I pretty much think that you should probably go out and try using the wide angle lens first and doing stuff handheld before you actually invest in a stabilizer, because if you don't understand like why you need one, then you pretty much won't need one or need to spend the money on one. Because I mean, everything that I've done so far, you guys have seen, I've done everything handheld, and I am now starting to use stabilizers to help me achieve different shots that I'd like to get. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and leave a like if you liked it and hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
With the crane
Yeah.
on the thing.
So you actually probably can get that walking shot just like it, but you have to probably bend with it or something. I don't know, you probably can do it, but my camera's a lot bigger, so I can't do it. So that's just something to keep in mind. But
Sony's
it's a great
better.
game. It's a great what?
Sony's are better.
I'm a Canon guy. He's a Sony guy, so I got nothing against him, but I prefer Canon. So anyway, see you guys.